Hi, everybody. Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is the weekend, April 26th. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. And of course, this is the weekend video. We'll go over what happened last week in the market, and then we'll take a look ahead and see what we got coming up this week. So let's get down to it. So, a quick review of what happened last week in the markets. The news about Fed Powell and tariffs continue to sort of dominate on the news this week. The White House did suggest that China rates could be lower based on a deal, but according to the Chinese officials, there have been no meetings taken place yet to start to negotiate there. So, as far as Fed Powell has looks like his continued role, the Federal Reserve seemed to be a little more secure this week compared to last week, and so both of those sort of news events. Investors and traders took that as a positive development, and of course you can see what happened with the markets as we made our way into the latter half of the week. There got some really nice gains, especially in the tech sector. You can see the tech heavy QQQs up 6.4%. SPY, which is about 30% tech, it was always up as well. And IWM, you can see it had a pretty good week as well. So as far as the sectors go, consumer discretionary and technologies, which have kind of been at the bottom of the list last week, we're at the top of the sector list this week. The biggest gainers, consumer staples, which is of course more of a safety trade. That was actually the only sector that was down on the week. So you can see here the treasuries dropped a little bit, 3.76 compared to 3.8 last week, and the same with the 10-year as well, down a little bit. Dollar finished up a little bit, so we got a little bit of strength in the recovery in the dollar. And Bitcoin, last I checked, it was around 95,000, so it had a really good run this weekend. And it seems to be a risk-on, risk-off asset. So since it was a risk-on week, Bitcoin really broke out of that 85,000 sort of trading range that we've been in for a number of weeks here. So that was your week in review. Okay, so let's take a quick pause here and take a look at what's available on Amazon. My 3 books there that if you're interested in checking out, how to swing trade, some strategies, basics of swing trading, profiting as an active trader, a little bit more in depth about swing trading and position trading if you're interested in that, and also my latest book, How to Trade Options, if you're a bit of a seasoned trader and want to learn more about options and options strategies. You can check that book out as well. All available on Amazon, all 3 medias, and you can search them with my name, or you can check out the links below. And so let's move on, take a look at some indexes here. Okay, so starting out with the treasuries, you can see here we are starting to pull back after we had that big pop up in the previous week. Some concerns about Fed Powell being removed as Fed chair. So those concerns have been waylaid, and we seem to be heading back down as we get a bit of risk off here. Same with the 10-year, same comments there. So we may be just stuck in this range here. I think if we do get lots more spending and more debt, we probably will see this sort of creep up, but I think that's not for next week for sure. The Dow, nice move up here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see here we've kind of gotten through one of these moving averages, and there's your area of resistance probably right there. First level that we'll encounter, and then there's some pretty light volume in between here, so we could easily make it up to this 41,400 area on the Dow. So looking fairly positive, and positive on a weekly as well here. Again, I think if we get some good news on tariffs, I think that will continue to drive the market higher. So if we look at the trend line here on the Qs, you can see here we've definitely broken out of that trend line, and this Thursday, Friday, really nice, good looking session here. We're back up into an area that there was prior consolidation, congestion, whatever you want to call it, and it got up as high as in this area. So I think we are definitely looking for higher here. And again, this is a nice looking break of trend line there. Same with the SPY. I won't redraw the line, but you can see here, if we do a line down here, you can see we've broken that trend line as well. And also low and then a higher low on this pullback. So SPY looking good, both fundamentally and technically for a move higher here. And the Russell, again, we've got one trend line here that's quite a ways, still has quite a ways to go. If we look at a secondary trend line that comes down here, I think we're probably looking at a breakout. We are looking at a bit of a breakout as well here. So I'm thinking overall, yeah, indexes look pretty solid. VIX, the fear index, dropping back down, could be coming back down, testing this 200 moving average here on the VIX. And the dollar kind of sort of finding some footing here right now. So that's good for stability in the markets. And a bit of a off that bottom there. And you can see here, Bitcoin really having a great week here. Broke out from this sort of 87,000 level, although we had been consolidating for a number of weeks here, right around this 85,000, and just had a really nice break higher, sort of risk on trade. And you can see here there was that area of consolidation and now a breakout. And if you go by prior breakouts, you can see here there was a long area of consolidation in here. And when we did break out, we broke out and continued to go higher. So we may come back up and retest this over 100,000 here in the coming week or two. So that's it for the indexes. Okay, so let's talk about some active stocks that have gone on. And if you've been checking out my videos in the last couple of weeks and been in the trading room, you'll know I'm long PLTR, have been for a little while, like this little area of consolidation. And I just thought as soon as the market turned, it was going to break out. And I have taken a bit of a partial when we broke through 100 on Thursday. And we continue to move higher. And I'm looking for my next target somewhere around $120 here, but really got a nice move on PLTR and still long some. I've mentioned, again, in the last couple of weeks, I've been mentioning silver. So I am still long some silver stocks, a little bit of a pullback on Friday, but overall it's been a really nice move up. I kind of figured it was lagging gold and overdue to catch up, and I'm still looking for a bit of a move higher here. I have partialed a little bit when we broke through this area here. Thought there would be some kind of prior resistance support in this area, which is exactly where we stalled, but still holding some silver for a move higher here. I'm also long some TQQQ, which is a ETF for the Qs. It's a levered ETF, so it's a little bit can be a little bit dangerous. You can have outside gains, but you can also have outsized losses. And as you know, I'm now pretty bullish right now in the short term on the market. So I'm looking for this to continue to go higher. This is a good way to play the Qs on a levered basis. And I'm long some Tesla here. I just really got long as we broke out. This was a late trade, or at least a later in the week trade on Tesla, and really had a nice move. And it came up into an area that's probably going to see some resistance. There's your 200-day. This is prior top. So I'll be looking to see how it trades on Monday. If it can't continue to push higher, I'll be taking some profits on that one. And that's some of the trades I'm in right now. All right, so let's take a look at some potential setups I'm looking at for next week. Baba was on my list last week, and I never took a trade, and I wish I had. But I still think there's good upside here. Either you could use options to sell some calls or some puts down here next week, and take advantage of collecting some premium, because I don't think the news can get much worse, and I think Baba only has kind of one way to go, potentially up to this 125 area. So Baba kind of looking interesting. GDX I got completely out of when we had this topping action. I'm looking for maybe a little bit more of a pullback here. I'd love to see it come back here, sort of at this 46 area. I'm actually not trading GDX. I'm trading some other gold miners that are more Canadian based, but the charts look much the same here. So some of the miners but I do like this gold for a continuation move higher. We just got way extended and now pulling back a little bit here. So again, I'd actually even consider selling some puts here. And if the miners or GDX got I had to buy it at this 46 level, might still be interesting. So that's another way to trade that. And IBIT I think it's getting back into an area. You can see there was a huge area of consolidation here. We're kind of breaking back into this area as Bitcoin moves higher. So I think we can probably look for a run up to maybe 58. And Netflix, I'm kind of interested in that one. This is, we've had this massive run up after their earnings report, really good earnings report. I think it's getting quite extended. So I think there's an opportunity to, you could actually sell puts here because I think there'll always be a bid underneath it now that we've broken to a new high. Also, if it would be a little risky, but you could sell calls here now that we're kind of looking like we're running out of steam for buyers. Could be looking for a bit of a pullback next week here, so I'll be looking at that one as well. Rocket Lab, I like Rocket Lab as well. Kind of an prior area of consolidation here. And it looks like it's getting ready to break out into that next level up here. So could be up to sort of $28, $29 for its next move on Rocket Lab. And that's it for some of the potentials I'm looking at for next week. Okay, so we're wrapping things up here for the coming week, April 28th. You can see where we are with the Dow, Q, SPY, and IWM. We are pretty close to some levels of support and resistance, so you can check those out. As far as economic events go, we do have a number of things. This is a big jobs week, so we've got ADP employment, job openings here on Tuesday. And also we've got the usual initial jobless claims that come every Thursday. But Friday we have all the unemployment and wage data at 8:30 in the morning. So people will be watching those numbers for sure. As far as earnings go, it's a big earnings week. We've got NXPI, semiconductor, but later in the week, more the bigger ones, we've got Microsoft, Meta, Qualcomm Wednesday after the close. I know we'll be doing a live YouTube session on that the close for those. And Thursday we'll have another live YouTube session at the close on Thursday for Apple and Amazon. And of course, then we've got a bunch of the energy sector stocks on Friday morning. So that's it. So hopefully you can join us for the close and trading the after earnings. As far as next week goes, just sort of a high level view. This is what I'm thinking right now. I think we can look for some more positive news on tariffs. I think they're trying to walk back some of the stuff. They're looking for a few deals, and as they start to announce some of these deals, I think that'll do nothing but sort of juice the market a bit here. So I think there's lots of reasons to be positive. I think we are poised to move higher here. Next week, I think we'll continue to see volatility if we get any good news. And for the longer term, I am still a little bit cautious. This higher government debt, potential for inflation to kick back up with the ongoing trade dispute with China, some of the things that are kind of on the radar that could be more negative in the longer term. But I think for shorter term, I think it looks pretty positive. So that's it, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully we will see you in the Bear Bull Trading Room on Monday at 8 o'clock pre-market show. See you guys.